All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Tall Toby's CAD vs. CAD Speed Modeling Tournament. We are here in the Summer Open, the Variety CAD vs. CAD Tournament. We had some special rules for this tournament. We had the ability for only 2 people to qualify from each CAD system, and that way we got to mix it up a little bit. We ended up with 6 different CAD systems, and today we go into the semifinals. Today is Friday, August 1st, and I just want to start out by saying welcome to everyone. Welcome to everybody here in the chat. So good to see everybody in here. Lots of people in here in the chat today. And so thankful to see all of you here. Of course, we've got Mason Makes here at the top of the chat saying hello. We're going to talk to him in just a moment. We got Matab, James, Sebastian, and Gray, who are all competing today. We got 2K, 1K here, says, yee. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Guntis is here. What's up, my friend? Great to see you in here. Thanks for joining us. And, of course, we've got Lotos in here, who was competing last week. We got Ricardo Jean, who earlier this year won the 2025 Spring Open. Congratulations to our friend Ricardo Jean in here. We got Cobain in here. Says, hey, I'm a newcomer from Indonesia. You guys are awesome. Fire. Yo, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Old friend of the show, FPV Kev is here. Gummy is here. Kegel is here. What's up? What's up? Vicky Chong is here holding it down in the admin role. Says, hi, everybody. Hello, Vicky. And let's see here. Sebastian Rockcrawler is here. Says, hello, everyone. Thank you. Hello. And Abhishek is here, says hello, Toby. This is Abhishek from India. First time ever. Love your content. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And Serial Sal is here. Hi, and good luck to the runners. The OG Amigos is here. Welcome. Het Patal is here, says, I got to know free CAD is not bad. Nice. And Ricardo Jean in the chat, starting us out with some super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Really helps us keep this train rolling. Let's go. And KDY, little girl, say hi, Toby. Hello. Hello, Katie. Hello, KDY. All right, guys. Super Duper Tango is here. Hey, folks, new here. I've done all the free models and a bunch of the competition ones, but I'm still so slow. Don't worry, you're going to get faster and faster. Victor K is here in the chat, says hi, Toby and chat. He is the world champion of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2023. Great to see you in here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Katie, my LOL girl, LMAO. And County Cork, Ireland is here. Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Welcome. All right, guys. Well, listen, we got a lot of people in the chat, but we've got somebody very special in the booth with me today doing co-commentary. So, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you're excited to see none other than Corey Mesa. Corey, how are you, my friend? Welcome.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, man.
Doing good, doing well.
So good to see you here, and welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys,
coolest thing I get to do before we go back to school for summer, so.
This is so cool.
Excited.
We've got somebody in the chat here, somebody in the co-commentary booth with us here, who is not only an Onshape user, he's an instructor, he's a CAD vs. CAD competitor, made it to the top 8 in this tournament, and he's an experienced co-commentator. Guys, Mr. Mesa Makes, Corey Mesa is here with us today. Man, it's so good to see you. You look great. I love that shirt.
Oh, yeah, it's vintage. I mean, we're going to drop some new merch. I think we finally made it to 1,000 subscribers, so we're, I feel like I got to start doing some big YouTuber things instead of just making tutorials, so.
Guys, you got to check
be out there eventually.
Check out Corey's channel. I'm going to try and make sure everybody can see that sweet logo on that shirt. But yeah, make sure you guys check out Corey's channel, Mesa Makes. He puts up some outstanding Onshape content for beginners and experienced users alike, but especially useful for your students, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, what do you think about this tournament so far? Man, we have seen some awesome battles.
Yeah, no, those drawings, I mean, being a part of it last week, I feel like the wheel was definitely not on my side, but there were some good, realistic, real-world parts. You know, I feel like a lot of times when you're doing some trainings, and not you in particular, but, you know, any kind of CAD training books you look at, it's like, make this part, and you're like, why would I ever use that? And all your drawings, for the most part, have some sort of purpose and can be used and can be built. So,
well, thank you. Cool. Thank you for recognizing that. And we do try our best with these models. You know, speaking of the models, I mean, maybe this is a good time for us to segue into talking a little bit about the models today in the Wheel of Fate. I do want to give a shout out, though, to Guntis coming in with some super chat. Thank you, Guntis. Thank you for a fair and exciting battle. Well, I am sure this is going to be an exciting battle. I gave Corey a little sneak peek of some of these models. But guys, as you know, the way that we select the models, the way that we make sure that things are fair in this tournament is we use what's called the Wheel of Fate. And on the Wheel of Fate today, you are going to see some tier 4 models. You're going to see some tier 5 models. You might even see a tier 6 model on the Wheel of Fate today. You're going to see some sheet metal. You're going to see some injection molded parts. You're going to see some multi-body. You're going to see some fabrication parts. And most importantly, you are going to see some tricky geometry throughout this live stream today. You know, Corey, sometimes we talk to the competitors and they say that the earlier rounds are actually more difficult because the earlier rounds are all about like fast twitch. It's like tier 3 models, get in there real quick, make your sketches, make your features, boom, 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 done, 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 done. But as we get deeper and deeper into this tournament, the models increase in their complexity level. The trickiness increases, and I think that we're really going to find out who's got true CAD experience versus maybe who's a little bit newer to the game.
Well, I think it's the experience in the engineering side of things, or just in the straight fabrication. I know looking at some of these drawings today, there's definitely some things that afterwards I'm going to start implementing in class as projects that we could make. So they look really cool, and even just for some skills projects. But it's going to be actual products, and so that's really cool.
Yeah, these models today, I had a lot of fun building them. I spent a lot of time up late at night, you know, working on these models, trying to get these models ready for this tournament today. So I do really appreciate the support. Again, Victor K coming in here with some super chat. Thank you, Victor K. Very much appreciated. Guys, this is really truly what makes this channel continue to run is support from users like you. And if you are out there and you're watching, and especially during the tournament, if you see some models and you think to yourself like, wow, how did he come up with that? Well, there's not really a secret to it. It's just a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights. And if you appreciate that, there's some great ways that you can show your support for the channel. The easiest way is just to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share what we're doing with other users out there. You know, you can get out there and you can let the rest of the world know what we're doing. Let your CAD community know what we're doing. But you could also sign up for an account over at totaltoby.com. That's going to also help to grow the channel, support the channel. And if we can get to 99 likes on this live stream, we are going to host a special episode of Model Monday Live this Monday. And if we can break through 100 likes, maybe we'll do even an extra live stream next week. We'll do something extra special next week. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Nice.
But we do have a goal here for this live stream. So if you're out there watching, be sure to hit the like button. Now, if you have the financial means and you can support what we're doing here and you appreciate these late nights putting together these models, putting together these things, you can reach out to us on Super Chat. The Super Chat is currently open, and we've had a couple people already get in there with some Super Chat. So thank you once again to our Super Chatters so far. Ricardo Jean kicking things off says, go Matab for your win. And then we had Guntis coming in here for a fair and exciting battle. And Victor K coming in saying, choo-choo, let's keep this Super Chat train rolling. You can also support us over at totaltoby.com if you prefer to use something like PayPal or Venmo. We have some other options over there at totaltoby.com/donate. And of course, if you know anybody, if you know any companies out there who are interested in sponsoring our next tournament, the World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling, registration is currently open. We're going to start hosting matches next month in September, and we are definitely looking for sponsors for that tournament. You can reach out to Vicky at totaltoby.com to talk about that sponsorship. So if your company wants to sponsor a really cool CAD vs. CAD tournament, or if you know any companies, be sure to let them know. We are absolutely looking for sponsors. So guys, let's get into it here. We saw a couple of weeks ago, July 18th, Ex Machina going up against James, our Onshape user from Australia. And it was James who emerged victorious, our number 5 seed. Then we got to see Sebastian, our number 3 seed, who's been absolutely crushing it on the Too Tall Toby leaderboards, going up against Ouya K, our only fusion user. And it was Sebastian, the number 3 seed, who took down that victory. And then last week, we got to see Lotos go up against Matab, and Matab has been a longtime follower, watching us on Model Monday Live, doing the challenges throughout the Too Tall Toby Practice Models app, and Matab absolutely crushed it. Had one of the fastest matches we've ever seen. I think it was 2 minutes and 9 seconds, start to finish. Absolutely blasting through that model.
Yeah, flying through that thing. I was trying to like practice alongside, and it was insane. I couldn't even keep up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I barely had the material set up, and he was like finishing and submitting his answer. So shout out to Matab, our #1 seed, and we saw Gray, our #2 seed from Russia, going up against Mr. Corey Mesa Makes.
yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was a fun one. It was definitely learned a lot, and I
Yeah.
immediately started practicing again afterwards, and
very cool to watch both of those models. Very
Yeah.
cool to watch that. I know that our friend Fully Defined Crispy Co from Australia, he said he really enjoyed watching that one, the second one, the table stand, that wooden one. He said that one was a really cool model, and that he too, like, he saw kind of what you were doing, and he too has kind of been in those spots where you get a little jammed up and you're not really sure like how to proceed with those panels. So he really enjoyed. I mean, that's what people like. They like when they get those kind of tricky mind bender ones.
The crazy part about that is I've had this book for probably like 10 years, and it's all these plywood projects that I could use in class, and I swear there's the exact same thing in here, and I've just never drawn it.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's a cool one, because like if you started out on the front plane, you kind of mess yourself up. You almost need to start out on a plane that's already offset, so it makes it easier to circular pattern. So if you guys didn't get a chance to see that match, take a look back at the live stream from last week, or maybe we'll release that one in a highlight video. But now today we're going to see James go up against Matab, and we're going to see Sebastian go up against Gray. So our #5 seed versus our #1 seed, and our #3 seed versus our #2 seed. I got a feeling we are in for a treat today with these matches.
No, for sure.
And so one of the questions that always comes up is there a prize for this tournament? And so we got to give a huge shout out to our prize sponsors. We've got our prize sponsor, Too Tall Toby, who is able to raise some money through the Practice Models app. And we're going to see first place is going to get $100, and second place is going to get a $100 bill ripped in half, also known as $50 for second place. So first and second place, we got some prizes up top. So whoever wins their matches today is going to earn a prize. And we got to give a shout out to our prize sponsor, MacroPad, who creates custom macro pads for just about any application. They're also putting up prizes for first, second, and third. First, second, and third place are all going to get their own macro pad. So we do have some prizes here for this tournament. And of course, we usually save our biggest prizes for the World Championship, which is coming up next month. Registration is currently open. So I want to say thank you so much to our sponsors. We really couldn't do these tournaments without these amazing sponsors. And I want to start out by recognizing Byte Systems, BlueByteSystems.com. What Byte Systems does is they provide turnkey engineering solutions and software development services for SolidWorks and PDM related tools. They also offer SolidWorks and PDM related API courses. So if your company uses SolidWorks and you guys are ever in a spot where you're struggling to get some repetitive tasks automated, this is absolutely a service that you can reach out to Byte Systems. And beyond that, they're holding a PDM workshop, so a 3-day in-person workshop in the Netherlands. So Corey, you and I could start learning SolidWorks and head out to the Netherlands and learn about their PDM API workshop. That sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah, I need to get my principal to clear it, so it'll be a school business trip, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, then we're golden. So that's going to be taking place next month, September 2025 in Amsterdam. If you happen to be out in that area and you're looking to get a PDM workshop or a API workshop, this is the place to be. This is where all the cool kids are going to be next month. So check it out. Here you can see on their website, BlueByteSystems.com. They've got the full kind of agenda of what you can expect to learn in that class. And I want to say thank you so much to Byte Systems, one of our sponsors for this tournament. And they sponsored the previous tournament, too. Thank you, Byte.
Mm-hmm.
Great group.
That was a fun logo to draw, too. I believe it was Model Monday. You had that one going on. That was pretty cool.
Exactly. We got to start getting some of those custom logos into the main library for sure. And of course, we got to thank Solidbox. You know the guys at Solidbox. These are a great group of guys. And what they focus on is providing you and your team with the best possible experience from your hardware, from your computers. So if your team is looking to upgrade your computers, if you feel like your computers right now are very sluggish or problematic, you got to reach out to the team at Solidbox, mysolidbox.com. What they're going to do is they're going to help you out by providing you with a custom build of a server, desktop, or laptop for SolidWorks performance. They're going to optimize that build of Windows. They're going to strip out all the bloatware, so it's actually a custom build of Windows. They're going to go through the registry. They're going to make sure you've got all the correct hardware, the correct RAM, the correct graphics card, everything you need, so that as soon as you get that computer on your desk, it just works. And on top of that, they have a skilled and experienced support team of hardware experts. So when you sign up with mysolidbox.com, most of their customers are customers for life, which is really the ultimate testament They're a super easy to work with company, and they will absolutely help you if you're looking to spec out some new computers for you or for your team. MySolidbox.com. Longtime supporter of Too Tall Toby, and just a great group of people.
No, absolutely. That's something I'm looking for. I want to get one for the house because I've been running back and forth with my school laptop, running competitions and running my channel kind of off of it. It's a little Lenovo ThinkPad. It works pretty good, but I think a Solidbox would do me a solid.
Yeah, it might be time to just upgrade a little, beef that thing up just a little bit, let you do a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course, our brand new prize sponsor, MacroPad. Got to give a shout out to MacroPad, macropad.io. And what MacroPad is your shortcut to peak productivity. What MacroPad provides is more than 100 different software designs, meaning that they can create a custom MacroPad for just about any application out there. And so whatever it is that you're trying to create shortcuts for, whatever it is that you're trying to streamline your workflow for, MacroPad is going to be the company that's going to be able to help you out. So you can visit them at macropad.io. You can get some more information about their tools, and very much looking forward to seeing macropad.io providing some CAD shortcut solutions for our community. A lot of people last week were saying they're very interested, and I'm very interested as well in getting one of these on my desktop.
Yeah, no, some custom. I know we were looking at their website and they have their custom options that you can kind of make some stuff. And like we were talking about beforehand, we'll make a Toby key and a Mesa Makes key, and
exactly
easy super chat key.
Easy super chat. Launch Discord. We'll have a delete dingus. We'll have all those good buttons on there. All right, guys, and once again, I want to say thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Our final sponsor, of course, is Too Tall Toby's Practice Models. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. And welcome to all the people who have been coming in as we've been going through our sponsor section. Bruno, Sebastian, Turek, welcome, welcome. Nafizer, welcome. King Kamal is here. Welcome, welcome, says all the best. And Aaron C is here. Welcome, Aaron C, to the chat. Great to see you in here. Wow, wow, wow. We got ourselves a celebrity here in the chat, guys. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And I saw Rambro's Workshop is in here, too. Our current reigning world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. We'll find out if he gets dethroned in the next couple of months. He's the 2024 world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. John Miller is here. Says, I'm new, but I love this already. Thank you, John Miller. Great to see you in here, and welcome to the chat. Welcome, welcome. All right. ML says, yo, I'm thinking about starting a CAD speed CADing club in my school using your system. Do it. Get everybody to sign up for Too Tall Toby's practice models. That's what we need. We need as many people to sign up for that as we can.
Absolutely. And it makes things better from my perspective as a teacher. I mean, the kids are just flying and making more projects than they ever have after we've used Toby's models and just learning Onshape as a whole. So it's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? The reason that we put together these tools, the reason that we work with these different sponsors, and the reason that we put together Too Tall Toby's practice models at tootalltoby.com is exactly for that reason, to help people just be able to navigate through the CAD a little bit faster, expand your capabilities as far as what you can model, be able to look at any physical product and say to yourself, like, oh, okay, I know how to model it. Like here on my desk, I've got just a simple tape measure, very common part. Well, I want to design a place where that can just sit so I know that it's there, or I know that it's missing. So I want to design like a cavity that this will sit in. So how do you do that? Well, if you start going through and doing the practice models at tootalltoby.com, you're going to know right away. You're going to get in the habit of like everything you see. You're going to be like, oh, I know. I'd start that on the front plane, and then I'd draw the outline. Maybe I'd import an image of the existing part, draw the outline, then I'd extrude it, then I'd add a shell, then I'd add like a little lower part and add some slots so that I can screw it down to the shelf, and then boom, I'm done. Like no, we have,
I just got back into skating recently, picked my skateboard up again after probably like 10 or 15 years. And before I hung it up, I literally hung it up, and the mount that I made was like one of the last parts I made before I switched from Fusion to Onshape. So I don't have that file anymore, and I kind of want to reproduce it. So
yeah, yo, that sounds like a good project. I like it. I like it. All right, guys. And Zeradine USB said, had to pick between Counter-Strike Tournament and a CAD Tournament. So, of course, I picked the CAD Tournament. Good choice, my friend.
Smart choice.
Solid, solid. All right, guys, let's get into it. Don't forget to hit the like button. We are trying to get to our goal of 99 likes. If we can get 99 likes, we'll host a special episode of Model Monday Live. And if we can get to over 100 likes, maybe we'll do an extra live stream. Maybe next week I'll live stream myself speed modeling through all the tournament parts. How about that? That'd be a pretty cool special live stream we could do.
Let's do it.
If that sounds good to you guys, smash that like button. Share this live stream with other people so we can get to over 100. Here we go. This is how these tournaments work. Imagine we have a match between Ivan the Reasonable and Aaron C. What we're going to do is on screen, we are going to show them and you, all of you, a 2D drawing, and we're going to challenge you to turn that 2D drawing into a 3D model. So we're really challenging our runners to do this, but if you're out there watching, you can absolutely play along with. Our runners are going to be challenged to calculate the mass, and then they're going to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. Now, when it comes to a tournament, the tournament has some special rules. First of all, it's a best-of-3 matchup, so really a first to 2 points. So you're going to see that our tournament runners in the upper corners are going to have a little indicator of how many wins they have. And once one of our runners gets to 2 wins, they will advance to the finals of this tournament. Now, to get a win, you have to earn the point. So let's say you answer and you answer incorrectly. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to answer incorrectly, and Corey and I are going to tell you, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Please try again, and then you have one chance to answer incorrectly again. If you get it wrong, you can try again one time. But if you get it wrong a second time, you can't earn the point for this battle. Now, that doesn't mean the other person automatically gets the point. They still have to earn the point. And the first person to earn 2 of those points is going to advance on to the finals. Now, I mentioned before that you guys who are watching, everybody who's watching, you can absolutely play along. Get your CAD system ready. Get your screen capture tool ready. And when I show the 2D drawing, you can take a screen capture and you can try to model it and see if you get the answer correct first. And if you do, there's a little thing that we do in the chat. You could say, I got it.
I got it.
I got it. Or like Mesa Makes did, if you've got the membership to the channel, you get these special icons. You can spam that I got it icon and let everybody know, like, I got it. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to post the mass in the chat, and I don't want you to help our runners if they get stuck. Today, these guys are the stars, so we are going to let them shine. And so if you're out there watching and you realize somebody like, oh, they forgot to fill it or they should do that as a shell, that's fine that you think that, but just don't type it in the chat. We want to make sure that each runner has a fair opportunity to try to come to the correct answer.
Absolutely.
L. Lowell in the chat says, I missed the shout-outs, but long-time listener, first-time caller. Love the full practice sets. Nice. Thank you, my friend. Welcome, welcome.
There we go.
Welcome, welcome. All right, guys, and again, just as a reminder, if you're watching these matches and you're wondering to yourself, like, how do these guys get so fast? All these guys are regulars on Model Monday Live. All these guys are regulars in the Too Tall Toby Practice Models app, tootalltoby.com. You can sign up for that app. There's over 200 challenges in that app. So if you want to get fast at 3D CAD, practice. You got to practice. That's how you get better.
James says down in the chat, and for when the IPS model comes, I promise I'm not modeling in millimeters, so don't worry. He's got it down pat. He's locked in. He's ready to go. So
yes, James, of course, referring to his infamous match against Ex Machina, where he modeled everything in millimeters, but he had a little trick up his sleeve. He had an Onshape macro that auto-converted the answer to the correct units, which I thought was so slick. I thought that was awesome. All right, guys. Well, here we go. This first matchup is going to be between James, who we just were talking to, and Matab, our number 5 seed and our number 1 seed. And we are going to start these guys out with a quick practice battle. And the reason we do this is really just so that we can kind of do a tech check here on our end, so Corey and I can make sure that everything is working correct on our end as well. So here we go, guys. This practice model is going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? So what's happening is our runners are grabbing a screen capture. Everybody's just kind of running through a tech check here. So our runners are grabbing a screen capture. We're moving over to our CAD versus CAD here. You notice Matab has 2 points up in the corner. Well, that's not right, so let's clear that. You'll notice that Matab is over here on the right, and we're going to just try to make his screen a little bit bigger. There we go. And we notice that it looks like Matab is actually modeling everything with just one screen. That is intense. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, he's taking a page from Fancy's book, doing it with, the trackpad, and, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it even harder.
Yeah, so. Trackpad on a Chromebook. He's
yeah.
just going for it. I like it. And we see here that James on the right, on the left here, looking good. Looks like everything looks good on his screen as well. So I think that we are pretty good. This is our tech check. This is where we make sure that everything is looking good, everything is working good before we actually get into the battles. We don't want to find out afterwards that we're missing half the screen, that we can't see the feature tree, something like that. So I think these look pretty good. Corey, oh, wait, we're missing something here. We don't have Corey's name.
Oh.
So
stand up a little bit there. I see Aaron C coming through with an answer too. I think he's using the calculator again because he was a little bit off. So
yeah,
he might be in the.
I like it when
he might need to charge the batteries on the calculator.
Yeah, I like it when Aaron C is using the. Yeah.
Maybe a slide rule and he slipped a little bit. I don't know what he was using today. So
yeah, exactly. All right, we gotta add in Corey's name here. Hold on. Where's Corey's name?
Oh yeah, I was surprised for a second. I thought this was the real model. It says ML. It seemed too simple. Yeah. No, we always do a tech check to make sure. I know when we ran the high school tournament, there was definitely some issues with units and material libraries, and so this tech check definitely saved some kids from completely messing up their models later on when it actually mattered and it counted. So
yeah, we got to make sure that we got everything right before we actually get going here. But
and
now,
I think it was a couple years ago. Who was it? Was it Dom? His whole computer reset during the tech check or something,
man.
like SolidWorks crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've definitely seen some issues. All right, did both of our runners come in with an answer? Aaron C came in with an answer. Good job, Aaron C. Let's see here. James came in with an answer, and Matab came in with an answer. Okay, excellent. So it looks like everything is working correctly for the tech check. So that means the next place that we get to go is the Wheel of Fate. So if you're here for the first time, what you should know is that the Wheel of Fate helps us to determine which models are going to go to which runners by randomizing. It's proprietary technology only found here at Too Tall Toby's CAD vs. CAD Championship. So we're going to mix this up a little bit. We're going to shuffle up these names a little bit. And if you guys in the chat want to try to guess, if you want to try to prove your clairvoyance, you can do so by typing in a number in the chat. So we can see here FPV Kev 19, Cobain 13. Let's see here. Gray 13, Serial Sal 18, Nufazu 3, Aaron C 10. Kamal says, "Come on. Let's go." Mr. Intrusionist. Oh, I like that name. 18. Codename Squad coming in here. 10. I like it. L Lol 12. Kamal 13. Min Watex. Welcome, Min Watex. Great to see you in here again. 17. Abhishek thinks it's going to be 7. Tax thinks it's going to be 20. Vicky Challen thinks it's going to be 19. Rockcrawler 13. Tarak Hassan 10. Matab 19. Man, this suspense is killing me.
Yep.
Let's give this thing a spin.
I think it's going to be on the wheel. I can guarantee you that much.
Okay.
It's one of those drawings. So
give this thing a spin, and we are going to our very first battle with model number 12.
And there we go.
Okay, guys. So this is going to be a good one. I know it. So congratulations to anybody who thought that it was going to be 12. Looks like Gummy knew it was going to be 12. Congratulations to Gummy. Gummy, you should go out and play the lotto tonight. Congratulations. Unless that's not your thing, in which case, don't do it.
Save your money and use it responsibly. Yeah, do that.
So what we like to do before we get started is we like to just learn a little bit about our runners. So Corey, maybe you could introduce us to these runners a little bit.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife last night about, since you crowned me the king of fun facts, I feel like this is perfect for me to do. So James, it looks like, fellow Onshape user. He's been using Onshape since 2022 for designing in FIRST robotics competition robots. That's something that is super, super cool. It's something I wanted to get started at the school. It's just a funding issue and trying to get that to happen. But I think I got a new friend that I'm going to reach out to and try to get some robot help. So another cool fact is he's also a huge Lego fan. And today I'm actually at school. But last week when we were competing, I was in my Lego room in the back, my little man cave, full of models, and I got a Daily Bugle tower and all kinds of stuff. Nice. So I think me and James are going to be best friends. And this is his first CAD competition, and I mean, for being his first time, he's doing a really, really good job. Yeah. So hoping to see some good things happening with Onshape today. And moving on over to Matab, he's pursuing his industrial engineering degree. So obviously he's practicing what he does every single day, and he's really good at it. So I'd like to see some other people in his classes start joining the community, and let's see what's coming out of Bangladesh at the university he's getting done. So I think this is some really cool stuff. He's learning AutoCAD and Onshape alongside SolidWorks. So he's just a glutton for punishment, wants to learn all the systems. He might take the whole CAD versus CAD variety CAD tournament by himself next year. Man. And one thing he didn't know about CAD design until 2023, and then he started with SolidWorks from a recommended varsity course. Been 1.5 years using SolidWorks. So these two, it seems like they're fairly recent to the CAD game, but it didn't slow them down at all. So I'm excited to see how this matchup goes today.
Yeah, a couple of prodigies in here. And
Mhm.
James actually in our Discord, in the Too Tall Toby Discord, posted some images of his first robotics design, and very, very impressive work that he's doing there. Definitely getting him a lot of experience in manufacturing and in large assembly design. And then you can see here that Matab, of course, is a newer user, but has been absolutely smoking it on
Just crushing the game, man. Yeah.
on the leaderboards, on the Model Monday Live episode. So I cannot wait to see these two guys. I can see in the chat, Tomas says, "Start, please." He's anxious. Everybody is anxious here, Tomas. Don't worry, we are all anxious for this one. And so I guess the time for chat is over, and the time for this first CAD versus CAD battle is here. We are going to see James using Onshape, our number 5 seed from Australia, going up against Matab, our number 1 seed, using SolidWorks. Here we go. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds? James predicted that it would be pounds, and it looks like he was correct. We see that this is a sheet metal model. It can be modeled as sheet metal or as thin features. The unit system is IPS, meaning inches, and the material is plain carbon steel. Both of our runners have grabbed a screen capture of this challenge, and so we move into the CAD vs. CAD arena. We've got James on the left using Onshape. We've got Matab on the right using SolidWorks. And it looks like Matab has already jumped in here, modeling this thing
drawing
up.
First blood.
Yeah,
man.
drawing first blood, extruding this out. Looks like maybe James didn't get a chance to grab the screen capture. It looks like maybe he was struggling. I'm going to just flip back to the screen capture here and let's see, make sure that he can see it. I apologize that we're going to miss the action a little bit here, but I just want to make sure that James does, in fact, have a chance to grab the screen capture. There we go. He's moving through the model now. Here we go. That's what we needed. So you see Matab on the right was able to extrude that out, take first blood. And interesting approach here. He decided to just extrude that as an L shape with the sheet metal tools. I think that's probably a pretty solid approach.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's easier way to cut that like he's doing right here, you'll see. So
yeah, and I guess he's just deciding to do half of the model to begin with, and maybe he's going to use some kind of a mirror or something on the tail end. What do you think about that approach?
I think, I mean, I like seeing the whole thing laid out at that flat pattern, but I mean, however you get there, whatever works for you. I think when you're selfish and you work in your own environment, you don't have to share. That's one thing you can kind of do however you want. But when you're in a collaboration, it's kind of whatever the team flow is.
Yeah, exactly. You got to. That's a great point. You know, it's not just about how you're modeling it yourself. It's really about how the whole team is modeling. And Cobain in the chat says, sheesh, Matab is super fast. Yeah, look at him. He's already gotten into his third feature here. He was able to extrude that L shape. He was able to cut that L shape kind of down from the top. And now he's getting in here and he's modeling up this little flange sticking out the back. And this model, I'd say, this is a tier 4 model. It's a sheet metal model, which sometimes people struggle with. Not everybody has the most sheet metal experience, but it looks like Matab is having no problems with this sheet metal model. Getting in there, made those as fillets, realized those were supposed to be chamfers, no problem, just jumped in and edited them to get them to be chamfers. And now we see Matab is going to go through and he's going to add in this slot here, this kind of slot shape running down from the top of the model, getting in here, applying the appropriate dimensions to that thing to locate it.
It looks like James is getting those flanges thrown in. That hold line, inner, outer, those kind of always mess with my measurements sometimes too. So
yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's definitely something that I've learned a lot about. I mean, I kind of come from a sheet metal background, so learning where the flange is derived from. But look at James, interesting in Onshape there on the left. The preview of the model is kind of in the way, but what you can see James doing there is he's actually working in the flat pattern as he's creating this model, and that's something pretty unique you can do in Onshape.
Yeah, I know when I did my run to qualify for this tournament, that's what I did. And Matab was like, dude, I didn't know that was possible. Like, how did you do that? And then, of course, everybody jumped in and figured that trick out. So
yeah, very cool that James is just able to get down there and actually work in the flat. So he's got the flat pattern preview in the lower right corner in Onshape, and then he's using and working in that flat pattern preview to create that slot shape. But Matab on the right looks like he may be coming in with the mass here, and we are going to watch the chat and see if the answer comes in. And Matab comes in with an answer, 0.703 pounds, and that is not correct. That is not correct. Very fast modeling, but that is not correct. So Matab is going to need to go through. He's going to need to examine what's going on with his dimensions, maybe double check the drawing and see if maybe he missed a dimension somewhere. But wow, Matab, super fast modeling, but that is not correct within tolerance. We're looking for the answer in 0.xxx pounds plus or minus 0.002 pounds. And that answer, 0.703, is not correct within tolerance. This may open the door for James. Cobain in the chat says James has a chance.
No, this is the part where your heart starts fluttering as a competitor for sure. So
yes, Matab now has the opportunity to try to figure out what he did wrong. However, if he answers incorrectly again, that's it. He'll be shut out from getting this point. And so James now has a chance. This is where it does get very dangerous. Matab really needs to kind of go over the drawing with a fine-tooth comb, and he needs to really make sure that he understands what dimensions maybe were incorrect, what dimensions were missing. And in the meantime, James, you can see here, has already got that flange with the angle kind of sticking up the back. His flat pattern's looking pretty good. Oh, looks like he decided to maybe edit, maybe roll back there a little bit. James on the left, kind of getting rid of that angled shape. Okay, there we go. He's got it back now.
Yeah, and this is kind of the power of Onshape too, being able to see that feature tree. And they have a button that shows final that works really cool too. So you can kind of see how things change as you manipulate. That works really well.
And so it looks like Matab did go through and is now is he gonna commit to his answer, or is he gonna keep looking at his model? That's the question. That's always the question as a competitor. Looks like he is gonna commit to his answer. And Matab comes into the chat with the answer, 0.666 pounds. And that is correct.
There we go.
Congratulations to Matab. Taking the first win. The mark of the beast. The model is both sheet metal and inches. It felt like it was appropriate, especially considering most of our runners are not from the United States. So both sheet metal and inches, and the correct answer was 0.66 pounds plus or minus 0.002 pounds. You saw Matab came in at first with an answer that was not within the specification of that drawing, and therefore did not earn the point. However, he was able to go back over the drawing, figure out what was missing, and resolve the issue. It looked like maybe it was a dimension from the back of the model to the beginning of that kind of angled face.
Yeah, and looking at James, I think at one point when he was doing that mirror, you could tell that circle wasn't quite centered.
Yeah.
And so I think he might have been off a little bit on a measurement. And it's like I said, it's that sheet metal that am I doing an inner, an outer, a hold line? You got to play with those to figure out what you need and when you need it or how you need it. So
yes, and sheet metal is just one of those things, you know, it's something that I think every CAD user should know. Every CAD user should know how to kind of get through and model up parts in sheet metal. But, you know, the wheel of fate can be cruel. You know, not everybody's as strong at sheet metal, and it really just kind of depends what model gets delivered to you. That's kind of what makes this tournament so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You truly need to be a master of all trades if you don't want to get surprised. If you don't want, you know, the more different trades you master, the less you're going to be dependent on the luck.
That sheet metal part though, I'm definitely going to cut it out exactly as is and machine it in our shop and see what I don't even know what it could be used for yet. I haven't really thought about it, but we're gonna make some and right, like it'll hold something. We'll figure out.
It'll hold something. Yeah,
we'll post that to the Discord,
it would be like a good dual slot bracket. I think it would be good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm thinking tools though, like what could I put in there or something. Yeah,
exactly. Oh, very cool.
So
Vicente is asking, how many mistakes can you make? One. You can make one mistake. So that's a good question. So Matab, if Matab had answered correct, so what happens is, you know, Matab had obviously had a mistake. He went and he found that mistake, but the question is that the only thing that was wrong? And so when he submits that answer the second time, if he was missing something else, if the slot was also the wrong shape, then he would have been out. He would not have been able to earn the point. 2 strikes and you're out. Exactly. But he got it correct. He was confident. GG to Matab. Well done, my friend. Well done. And so that means we get to turn back to the Wheel of Fate, and we get to find out what the next model is that's in store for these guys. And Corey, you've seen a little sneak peek of these models, of these challenges. So I'm hoping that this is going to be one of the ones that's a little bit more on the exciting side.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. See what these runners can handle, and
just
because I know, I mean, if you can wrap your head around things a different way, and the other one, as you saw me do last week, right? Like it can be something you always do, and then it looks a little bit different, or the units are in inches. So
Yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing is that like I spent a lot of time putting together these models, these challenges, especially some of the more tricky ones. And the Wheel of Fate might just say, you know what, we're just going to do the easy ones this week. It's only the semifinals. But if that's the case, we'll save some of these for next week. It's all good.
Yeah.
So Sebastian thinks it's going to be 18, FPV Kev 19, Irfan thinks it's going to be 3. Guntis thinks it's going to be 3. Rockcrawler 13. Tech Hack Tamal thinks it's going to be 19. Vicky Chong thinks it's going to be 9. Wow, we got a lot of people in here guessing what they think it's going to be. Let's not belabor this any further. Here we go. We're giving this thing a spin. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I can't wait to see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for the runners today. Okay, well, the Wheel of Fate has spoken, Corey. And this is going to be an interesting
lucky number
one.
13.
For sure. Yeah. So we're going to 13 here. Let's remove this. I think this is a fantastic choice here, and we'll see what ends up happening on this one. And maybe, you know, while we're setting this up, while the production team is setting this up, maybe you could let us know just a little bit more about these runners. Actually, hold on. Those are not the correct fun facts for Matab. Let me get some different fun facts for Matab here. Here we go. He's not 43.
All righty. Yeah. So James, he uses SolidWorks for rover design at BlueSat at the University of New South Wales for the Australian Rover Challenge, but he still loves Onshape. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. Like I said, I learned Plasma Cam back in the day. It was a point and plot kind of deal. And I still have it's got really good like detections for breaks when we're doing sheet metal models.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll throw a design in there and then bring it back into Onshape and manipulate it some more. And so it's good to be universe, like we said, you know, get good at different materials and different models and different types of things, but also like just know what programs will do for you, right? We're so into this AI world where we're going to throw everything into AI, but what can you do yourself that'll ease that workflow? So I think that's kind of cool, knowing all the different programs. And then Matab, he says his favorite athlete is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yo.
And his favorite CAD athlete is Too Tall Toby. So
very cool.
I don't watch soccer all that much, but all my students here, there's days when there's a soccer match going on right in the middle of class, and they're like, "Can we?" And I'm like, "If you finished your work, yeah, go for it. Let's do it." So, and his favorite subject is math. So, I mean, I'm sure like most of us, a lot of us in here, math is the one thing we kind of flocked to. And I have another fun fact for Matab. You know, I post my videos at midnight Pacific time, and I think within minutes, Matab's like usually my first like comment. I know I did the math. I think if it's midnight here, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon there for him. So I'll wake up every Monday morning to a nice little, you know, kudos from Matab.
Yeah.
It's good to see that we're all supporting each other. So
yeah,
once we get those memberships started, Matab, I know you're going to be the first one to jump on and have some super fan badge of some sort. So
yeah. It's one of the best things about, you know, being part of this whole community is just everybody kind of supporting each other, and we're all kind of working with different CAD systems. But because of that, we all get to learn some things that maybe we wouldn't have learned if we just stayed in the silos. So it's definitely been kind of my creed throughout this entire journey, is just trying to help build this community. And it's been such an awesome journey, and really enjoying getting to meet people like Matab and like yourself, and, you know, really like all the competitors in this tournament.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the Love Fest. Now it's time to bring out the knives. Time to get into the battle. So here we go, guys. This next CAD battle, this is going to be a good one. This is model number 13. This next CAD battle between James, our number 5 seed from Australia using Onshape, and Matab, our number 1 seed using SolidWorks from Bangladesh. This CAD versus CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXX pounds? We got 2 pounds models right in a row. I think these might be the
units for the win, man.
These might be the only 2 pounds and inches model. This is in inches. It's an ABS, and this is a plastic injection molded part. It has draft all around. It's got typical 8 degrees draft. Very easy to see, 8 degrees draft. And this would be a drafted part, a molded part, an injection molded part. Let's take a look at how our runners are modeling this. They both grabbed a screen capture, and they're both now going through. It looks like they're both kind of starting in a similar location, looking down on this thing from the top plane and turning it into a boss extrusion. And we see that Matab, as he's creating the geometry, he's actually adding the draft during the extrusion. We see that James on the left, on the other hand, decided to maybe create it as a solid, and then he's shelling it out. And I don't know if he added the draft or not. Maybe he did add the. Oh yeah, he did. I can see it tapered there on James's screen. So they both added the draft as they were creating that extrusion. I like that. I like that. And they're both now attempting to get this thing into place. James going through adding some fillets there. Matab looks like he decided to add those fillets and then hollow the thing out. I think that was a pretty solid approach there from Matab, getting those fillets on there and then hollowing that thing out. And now we get into kind of the second phase of this design, the inner shapes. You've got that kind of circular boss sticking up through the middle, which has draft. You've got the ribs that are sticking up through the middle. And of course, when you're injection molding something, the draft will often kind of go in two different directions along the same face, one for the inner face and one for the outer face, so that it can be ejected from an A-side, B-side cavity. So this is pretty interesting, this part here. It's not like you can just make a ring and then extrude it with the draft. You almost have to do it in two features.
Yeah, James is adding that draft now, and it looks like, when he was running with that fillet, it's definitely an order of operations thing I've run into before doing some of your practice models. If you add that shell after you've added the fillet, then it'll automatically fillet that inside, which is a really cool workflow, especially if you're in these CAD competitions.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the challenge here is going to be the kind of notation on the print. You may notice that on the print, there's a notation that says that those fillets are not conical, that they are true radius fillets. And so again, comes down to order of operations. And sometimes, depending on the machinist, they will prefer one versus the other. Like if they've got a tapered end mill that they can just rip around that corner on, then they're going to want it to be conical, because that's going to make it easier for them to machine it. But on the other hand, if they're doing like multi-axis milling and they for some reason prefer for that to be constant radius, or maybe functionally it needs to be, then you might receive a different note like what we see on this print.
Well, and then how many times you're gonna have to change a tool too? I know that's what makes a lot of people not like certain models or certain parts. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the lesson here is that you really, if you're entering into the world of manufacturing, you will save yourself and your team a lot of money if you develop a good relationship with your machinists, a good relationship with your manufacturing team, and you kind of have these conversations and figure out, what is considered standard. But here we can see Matab going through and trying to use the rib command. Looks like maybe he ran into a little bit of a problem there. The first one went through no problem, but now, wow, look at that. He did a circular pattern and the rib extended on the circular pattern. Holy smokes, guys. That was a pro-level move. Wow. Matab. Shout out to Matab. He really did nice there. That was cool. That was he did a circular pattern of the rib, and the pattern instance actually extended. Wow. And so Matab looking over the model, and it looks like he may be coming in with an answer here. And we're going to keep an eye on the chat and see what his answer is. And Matab coming into the chat with an answer, 0.777 pounds. And that is not correct. That is not correct. So unfortunately, Matab, that is not correct. He got the answer first, but it is not correct. So he's going to have to keep going through and trying to figure out what's missing. He's going to look at his drawing. He's going to look at his model, but that is not correct. Shout out to Pico Boo in the chat. What is up, my friend? And Vice, you want to remember that we're not going to be helping these guys out, okay? We want to try to keep this as friendly as possible. We want to let these guys figure it out. So let's make sure that we don't share any tips or tricks or anything. It's up to these runners to figure out what's going on in this competition.
Absolutely.
And look at James using intersection. I just made a video on intersection the other day, and he's just right away embracing it.
Yeah, intersection's a fun one, and you got to have the right part to make it work. But once it works, you're like, oh my God, why haven't I used this for everything? Like, it's amazing.
And Turbine Taruk in the chat says, you got this, James. Yes, indeed, James, you got this, my friend.
Yeah, we want to see a third match, right? That's what everybody's hoping for. Usually.
Everybody wants to see the third match, exactly. That's what we're always hoping for.
Yep.
And John G in the chat says, pressure on Matab. Yes, indeed. J Miles. All right, guys, we're keeping an eye on Matab. It looks like what Matab's strategy here is he's really kind of checking and double checking and making sure that he's not missing anything. He doesn't want to overlook anything obvious that might end up costing him. And James coming into the chat, 0.781 pounds. That is not correct. That is not correct. So both of our runners have answered one time. So both of our runners get to go through and try to answer again. And Matab coming into the chat, 0.754 pounds. And Corey, we got ourselves a finalist. That is correct. 0.754 pounds, plus or minus 0.002 pounds. Wow, wow, wow. GG to Matab. Congratulations, super fast once again on both of those models. A little bit more complicated than the models from last week, but wow, wow, wow. Good game to Matab. Good game to both of our runners in that battle. But my goodness, Matab absolutely crushing. Ran into a couple of hiccups there, went back through, figured out what the problem was. It looked like in that one, he was missing that fillet on the bottom of the model. He just needed to go through and add in that fillet, and he was able to figure out how to do it without blowing up the tree. And true professional grade work there. Wow, wow, wow.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. Well done, my friend. Guys, let's give a GG to the winner in the chat. Let's give a GG really to both of our runners. Congratulations to James, his very first tournament, and he's made it into either third or fourth. We are going to ask our third and fourth place finishers to come back next week and do one sudden death battle to determine who is in third, who is in fourth, kind of warm us up before the finals. So we will see James again next week. But congratulations, your very first CAD vs. CAD tournament made it to the semifinals. Well done, my friend.
Yeah,
well
and you did better than me, so we made it look good for Onshape, and we you at least had a chance going. I felt like I was left in the dust of Gray's work last week. So
yeah,
good job,
exactly.
James.
And going up against the number one seed, man. And
for sure.
Finishing those models is super impressive. We can see. I'm just going to click back to the CAD vs. CAD screen for a second. You can see here that James was able to get that model to the end, get it to completion. And so just finishing those models in that limited amount of time is super impressive from anybody. So GG.
And I think the other thing to look at too is I always look at feature trees and I see students make stuff, and if they're having a lot of unnecessary things, like his was fairly straightforward and like pro level. So there's a couple of ways he could have cleaned things up, but I mean, I'd hire that guy tomorrow. Like that's a great, and what that's what we're here for, right? It's all about educating the workforce and going from there. So I think he's doing a great job, and I'm going to reach out to him. I want to see him talk to the kids because I think he knows the stuff, and it can show what can be done with Onshape, right?
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. And Josva in the chat says joining for the first time here. Good work to both. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the first half of the show. We are now going to move on to our second match, our second battle here in the semifinals. And I just want to remind you to please hit the like button, share and reshare, and sign up for a free account. If we can get to 69 likes, really if we can get to 99 likes, we're going to do a special episode of Model Monday Live. Let's see what we're at right now. 65 likes. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. Let's get that up to 99 likes. If we can get that up to 99 likes, I think we're going to do a special live stream next week. I'll go through and I will speed model every model that we've seen in the tournament so far. How's that? I'll just sit down. Marathon.
We see James in the chat too says, thank you everyone. GG Matab, go win the finals, and time to go to sleep for both of us, I think. So I know if I know Matab, I know he's probably gonna stay up and keep practicing, but
yeah, exactly. James is in Australia. It's gotta be 2-3 in the morning over there. So maybe next tournament we'll have a better time slot for our friends around the world.
For sure.
Very nice. FPV Kev says, I was impressed when Matab rolled up to the shell to add that bottom fillet. Clever. Yeah, that was clutch. That was an awesome move for sure.
I feel like the rollback bar is one of the most appreciated tools. It's like it's gotten me out of a lot of oh, this keeps breaking. And it's like, oh duh, go back to where you first made that, and then it'll fix it all the way down. So
right. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people roll it back though, and they mess up a part and then they screw up the rest of the model. So I think I can see where the leeriness comes from, and
Yeah. You gotta know what you're doing.
But once you master it, oh man, that's one of the best tools.
Now, guys, we've seen a couple of parts here that are been tier 4 parts. They've been sort of complex. I don't think we've really gotten into the true brain benders yet. But if you appreciate what we're doing here with this tournament, if you appreciate what we're doing here with coming up with these models and with challenging these guys and challenging all of you, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. But you can also utilize the YouTube Super Chat. It's down at the bottom of the chat. It is available right now, and it's a great way to support the channel, great way to support these tournaments, and make sure that these tournaments keep rolling forward. So if you are out there and have the financial means, YouTube Super Chat is open. tootalltoby.com/donate is open. And, of course, keep smashing that like button. We are trying to get to 99 likes so that we can do a special live stream next week. Guys, one question that comes up a lot in the world of Too Tall Toby and in the world of the comments is, how can I enter this tournament? Well, the answer to that question is you could go to tootalltoby.com/tournaments, and registration is currently open for the World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2025. We have several tournaments throughout the year, but there's only one World Championship, and that championship is coming up. Free registration is now open, and if you visit us at tootalltoby.com/tournaments, you can see that registration information. You can find out how to register. But I think the real question is, how do I qualify for the tournament? How do I actually get myself into a position where I can beat some of these times? Because what you'll see is if you visit tootalltoby.com/tournaments, and then maybe you look back at some of the older tournaments we've had, like let's take a look at the Variety CAD edition. Well, there's a qualification board that comes up on that Variety CAD, and you can see here on that qualification board, you have to model 3 models, 1, 2, 3 models here, and Matab did it in just 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Wow. And if we scroll down here a little bit further, we can see Mesa Makes did it in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Mr. Mesa, wow,
I was
screaming
locked
through these
in.
models.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get in the top 10, or for the next tournament, if you want to get in the top 16, you're probably going to need to be able to create 3 models correctly from a 2D drawing in under 7 minutes, maybe even faster than that for the World Championship. And so if you really want to learn how to do this, you're going to need to practice. And I'll tell you, somebody out there who's done a lot of practice is Min Watex, coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Min Watex. $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. So good to see you in here again. Thank you so much for being a longtime supporter of the show. And we see Min Watex do a lot of practice on Model Monday Live and in the practice models. But here you can see that at tootalltoby.com, if you want to get that practice in, what you can do is you can go here to Play and Learn Practice Models, and you will see that we've got a library of over 200 practice models going from a 2D drawing to a 3D print. Now, if you want to get good at anything in the world, you have to practice. That's how you get good at stuff. That's how you develop skills. You practice,
Absolutely.
practice. The cool thing about this app is that you can decide that you are brand new to 3D CAD, and you could say, I only want to see the Tier 1 challenges. So we've got 12 Tier 1 challenges here, and each one of these challenges, when you click into it, you're going to see that there's kind of a step-by-step guide, a tutorial, and a lot of times that tutorial comes in different CAD packages. So you can see here we've got a tutorial in Onshape, we've got a tutorial in SolidWorks, we've got a tutorial in Fusion. So different people are posting tutorials to try to help the community through this process. So if you want to get good at 3D CAD, you could start out here. You could visit us at tootalltoby.com. You can filter that library. But maybe you're already a 3D CAD wizard. Maybe you want to jump right up to Tier 3 or Tier 4 or Tier 5. Or maybe there's some specific types of models that you want to do, like sheet metal challenges. I just want to go through and do the sheet metal challenges. Or I just want to go through and do some woodworking challenges. Or I just want to go through and model up parts that I can 3D print when I'm done so I can physically hold them in my hand. So we've got all these great filters here to help you get better at 3D CAD. And really, when people ask me, how do I enter the tournament? I mean, the straightforward answer is you could go and you could register for free right now. But if you're not able to speed model those 3 parts, you're going to have a hard time qualifying. Yeah. And so if you want to get better at that, if you want to increase your speed, visit us at tootalltoby.com. Over 200 2D to 3D CAD challenges. When you're doing these challenges, just like in the tournament, it's you versus the clock. So you can time yourself, and then you can use the try again feature, and then you can time yourself again and get faster and get faster and get faster. And so you can keep practicing, keep learning these skills. You'll see that there's a library of community speed runs and tutorials. So the tutorials really help you understand like kind of the step-by-step how to model this part. But the speed runs is where you can really mine for some gold, because you'll realize like, oh, I didn't know you could do fillets by putting a window around the corner. I got to start doing that. Or I didn't know you could dimension by just drawing a line and using auto dimension on the line. That's way faster than going back in and adding the dimensions afterwards. What do you think is one of the coolest shortcuts you've learned from watching these speed runs, Corey?
I think the I think somebody commented on one of my videos, and I was like reluctant to post to qualify for this tournament actually. And I was like, maybe I'll wait till the end, because if somebody sees my shortcut, they're gonna feel like that sheet metal flat view and extruding everything all at the same time. And then somebody was like, dude, you could do it faster on your corners if you did a corner break. And I was like, oh, I've never done that before. Let's try it, right? So then I started selecting and doing those, and it was like I figured out a way that I could select everything, and it would add fillets, but it would select a million faces, but it would only add it to the ones that actually mattered. And I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think I shaved off like 30 seconds. So there was definitely people I'm like, well, do I post it today or do I wait? And maybe I'll get feedback and somebody will tell me I'm doing it wrong and do it better. So there's the kind of
give and take. Like you said, I mean, that's a sheet metal application where like, it's not just about speed modeling for fun. These are things you can actually use at your job to save time and to make your models more elegant. And that's the cool thing about practice.
Absolutely.
So, guys, if you haven't been there before, visit us, tootalltoby.com/practice, a sponsor of the tournament, tootalltoby.com, the practice models app. And you can sign up today. And, of course, you can sign up for the tournament. But if you really want to get to the point where these guys are, where Matab is, where James is, and where Sebastian is, and where Gray is, then it's going to take practice. And so this is your chance. I saw earlier in the chat, somebody had said NX. NX is going to win the whole thing. NX is the best. And that is awesome. We would love to see some NX users in here, some Unigraphics users in here. We see Siemens NX. Yeah, it was posted a little bit earlier. Siemens NX is going to win the whole thing. So I would love to see some NX users in here in the World Championship. The World Championship is open to all 3D CAD users regardless of the system. So good. You ready for the World Championship, Corey?
Oh yeah, no, I was looking at those drawings this morning and I think there's some good ones. There's definitely, I know we were talking about real world projects, and that one of those is definitely,
oh yeah,
I swear, I think I have those plans. We've made that for years in our ag mechanics classes, so we might build one up and send one to you. I'll have the kids make it for you.
And Aaron C in the chat, listen to this. I am by far the fastest modeler at my company, completely thanks to TTT. I can come up with a full CAD design almost as fast as I can sketch it by hand now. It's an awesome in the brainstorming phase. Yeah, exactly. That's what we really want. We want you guys to understand that this is all about helping you use a tool better. I remember somebody, it was like on Reddit or on one of the message boards was like, they said like CAD's just a tool. It doesn't matter. Like you don't have to be fast in it. It's just a tool. It's not really what engineering's all about. And my response to him was like, a speed square is just a tool. Does that mean that a carpenter shouldn't learn how to use a speed square? If you've ever really looked at how a speed square, all the secret hidden functionality that's
I have a book that's
in
like this thick on everything you can use from it.
Yeah, and it's like once a carpenter truly learns how to master that speed square, they're going to be able to finish the jobs faster, quote the jobs faster, come up with workarounds faster. And so it's really the same thing here. Yes, CAD is just a tool that you use in engineering, but if you can learn how to master that tool and brainstorm faster, you're gonna be able to really enjoy the engineering part of it even more.
Well, and I think if you think about it that way too, your phone is just a tool, but none of us want a slow phone, right? You're not going to sit there and scroll through Facebook if it takes 5 minutes, like Windows 98, right?
So true. And here we see Celso is here, first time watching the tournament, and it seems amazing. Well, strap in because we are about to get to the second half of the tournament. Here we go. Let's do this, guys. This CAD vs. CAD tournament featured 6 CAD systems, 8 users from around the world, 8 different countries, and now we are heading into the semifinal match between Sebastian using CATIA from Germany and Gray using SolidWorks from Russia. So this is our number 2-3 and our number 3 seed. I got a feeling this is going to be an epic match. Let's just take a moment here and do a quick practice just to make sure that all of our systems are working correctly. We're going to set these guys up. We're going to make sure that everything is set up as far as the layouts go, as far as the way that the screens themselves are being presented, and then from there we will actually get into the battle. So let me just make this one. Just want to make one quick adjustment here, move this over a smidge. There we go. All right, I think we're pretty close here. And let me make sure that I've got, let's do one. We're going to do a practice model in inches here just to mess with these guys. So here we go. This practice battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in X pounds? So right now what's going to happen is that our runners, Sebastian and Gray, are going to try to get this model up and running on their screen. And We're just going to make sure that all of our CAD systems are working. We're going to make sure that everything is set up correctly here. We're going to make sure that we can see everybody's screen and that we're not running into any hiccups on the technical side of things. Just a check, just a quick tech check. Easy model. Wow, they finished it too quick.
They were flying. They got it going pretty good. I was watching on our call, and
Okay, good.
yeah,
Everything looks good, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're good. I love seeing Gray's SolidWorks layout. He uses this really cool blue background. I know I say it every week, but I just love seeing his setup. And of course, Sebastian has been absolutely crushing it on the speed modeling leaderboards. He's our CATIA user. He's introduced me to the super friendly folks on the CATIA Reddit board. So that's been a lot of fun hanging out over there. Shout out to anybody who's watching the tournament from the CATIA Reddit board. Great to see you in here and appreciate all the dialogue we've been having over there.
Yeah, we see in the chat, Aaron C says he's going to start his own CAD company. He's going to have Victor K and Ate as his first employees,
Nice.
and Ricardo and
Nice.
and Rambros. I feel like if we started a company, I mean, we would cost way too much because our like, there's always the time versus money, right? Like you get what you pay for. Like we'd have some awesome models if we started just from this community alone.
Yeah.
And if you guys want, we'll be the ones. We'll fab everything with my high school students.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
It's learning, so it's not child labor. Like we're good there.
Yeah.
Like
All right. Sebastian comes in with an answer 0.988. Greg comes in with an answer 0.988. That is correct. Well done. Well done. All right, guys. That's it for the tech check. Let's get into the Wheel of Fate. See what the Wheel of Fate has in store for us. Screens are wrong. By the way, screens are wrong. Let's see. Thank you. Yes, indeed. That is correct. Thank you. So Gray is over
Gotcha.
here.
There we go. Yep.
Who said that? Shout out
That
to
was. I don't know. Oh, Ate said it at one point.
Thank you, Ate. Great to see
There we
you
go.
in here, my friend. Thank you. And we'll get James and we'll get Sebastian here.
Yeah, Aaron, we'd run out of work because we're too fast. Absolutely. That means that we'd get more work. It's just this never-ending cycle. So
that's great. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
That's kind of what it's like when you're an ag teacher, right? Like you don't make a lot of projects, and then some kids start making it, and the kids get hungry, and they're like, "We can do that. Let's make more." And then it's pretty soon you have nowhere to walk in the shop because everybody's making projects. It's a good problem to have. So.
And Deathview caught that as well. Thank you, Deathview. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We got to make sure we get this right. Here we go, guys. Let's see who or what is in store for these runners. I got a feeling this is going to be a good one. We're about to see a good one here, Corey.
Yeah.
Okay. Model number 16. Okay, that'll do.
Oh, your Wheel of Fate's not up, I don't think.
Wheel of Fate is not up. Okay, thank you. Here we go. Model number 16. That will do. We gave it a spin. Model number 16. That will do. Guys, the Wheel of Fate has spoken. And the model that we're going to be seeing here in this challenge is going to be model number 16. And I got a feeling this is going to be a good one. While we're getting that, while the production team is getting that ready, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about these runners.
So yeah, Sebastian started using CATIA when he was 14 years old back in 2011, which is when I graduated high school. So great year. His biggest fear is click OK to terminate. I don't quite know what that means.
That's
I'm guessing it's more of a CATIA thing. But if you guys watched last week, I think I definitely did something similar. I pressed F1 on my keyboard instead of escape and brought up the Google Chrome help window. So nice. I could totally understand how that could cause a problem. I could solve a Rubik's Cube in 27 seconds. That's impressive.
That's
I feel like
impressive.
Can you solve a Rubik's Cube, Toby?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No, in no seconds.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I did it. I could do like one side when I was a kid, and then my cousin was like, "Oh yeah, this is super easy." And I'm like, "Dude, this is my thing, not your thing." So I of course, it was a competition, and I taught myself how to do it. So definitely can't do it in 27 seconds, but it's a great mind bender.
The speed models, any speed
keeps you sharp.
cubes. Yeah,
exactly.
It does it all.
And he runs a CAD automation startup focused on streamlining engineering workflows. So awesome.
Nice.
I mean, anytime you can streamline workflows, you're going to be way more productive. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Gray, he loves his girlfriend Maria. It's awesome.
Nice.
Shout out to all the spouses and partners and wives and everybody out there letting us play around on the internet for a couple hours every week.
Yep.
Right. And he started using SolidWorks in 2018. The main direction of his work is body products made out of sheet metal. So
very cool.
Sheet metal. He's hoping for some sheet metal on here.
Yeah,
so
we'll see what the wheel delivers.
Yep.
Well, that is very cool. One of my favorite things about this tournament is getting to learn a little bit more about these runners. But guys, the time for friendliness is over. We've been waiting all day for this matchup. Our number 2 seed versus our number 3 seed. We've got Sebastian from Germany, our number 3 seed running CATIA, going up against Gray from Russia, our number 2 seed running SolidWorks. And guys, the Wheel of Fate has spoken, and the Wheel of Fate has delivered a tier 6 model. Ooh. This CAD versus CAD battle in our semifinals begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in XXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 2 grams. Guys, this is a tier 6 model. You can see that all the wires are diameter 6 millimeters, and there are 7 cross wires and 1 252 OD diameter ring wire. Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture of the print. Both of our runners are deciding how to approach this thing, and it looks like Gray has already gotten in there and drawn a circle here on the top of the model, and it looks like Sebastian may be thinking about how he's going to approach this thing, but it looks like Gray is wasting no time. He's getting in there. He's created his circle on the outside using a construction line, and now he's creating a revolve using that inner circle, or possibly a sweep. I guess he did it as a sweep using that inner circle. That was very, very smart to get that OD correct. I knew that was going to be a little bit tricky, and wow. And Jay Miles in the chat says, I have one of these for my air fryer.
Right? I was thinking barbecue grill. Like it's definitely... I know I'm going to have a student that's going to want to make this year too, so we'll see.
Yeah, this is a fun model. Our first tier 6 model of the tournament, and wow. You can imagine that this thing is going to have to be approached in phases. I think the first phase is going to be to create that outer ring, and it looks like both of our runners agree, and both of our runners have created that outer ring. And now Gray, moving on to the second phase of this model, he's trying to figure out what's going to be the best for the spacing on this thing. One of the things that often happens in manufacturing is you receive a drawing like this, and it has the spacing between the wires, not the center to center, but the spacing between, and that makes things a little bit complicated if you're not paying attention.
That's definitely one of the things we run into in fab with the kids is they're like, I said, how'd you measure it? And they're like, oh, it was 25. And I was like, well, you got to have the thickness of the tube. And they're like, did you go center to center? Did you go inside to inside, outside to outside? Did you go diagonals? Yep. Right? Like we talk about like how TVs are measured and stuff. It's kind of crazy. So
yeah, very important, right? If you use the wrong one, then it's not going to fit. You're going to be making
we can all measure the same thing 5 different ways and all be right. But
yeah.
So
we see Gray here modeling this thing up and creating it using SolidWorks sketching there, creating that sketch on the side. We see in the meantime Sebastian on the left using CATIA, moving into that second phase, creating those crossbars. Looks like he was able to get those crossbars in place first, but now it looks like maybe he's struggling a little bit to get them located. So very interesting here. I thought it was really interesting how Gray decided just to rip through there with those planes to begin with. We're going to see if that ends up paying off.
Right. Yeah. I think it looks like Sebastian did a pattern of some sorts, and like a skip instance or something is kind of what it looked like.
Yeah. Maybe modeled one and did a pattern. That's an interesting approach as well. And I could definitely see how that could be, that could be beneficial as well. You notice it looks like both of them are kind of making that original wire oversized, that original cross wire oversized. So I wonder if they're thinking about taking kind of like a manufacturing approach to get rid of the extra.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, and it's, I think it's different because I teach welding. So every other part that you have, typically these bars, because you're talking about like cast parts or, right, this one is a bunch of bars that are going to be really crappily spot welded.
Exactly.
But so they're all that tangent relationship. They have to sit on top like they're doing. So it's a really cool, but really challenging model. So I know Matab earlier in the chat was saying this is disastrous, and I think he's glad that the wheel didn't pick this one for him. So
yeah, it was interesting. Quite the ramp up from the tier 4 models that we were seeing in the first couple of battles, and that's how the wheel can be. So now we see Gray kind of moving on to, actually both of our runners, both Gray and Sebastian, kind of moving on to this third phase of the challenge, which is how do you get those little feet that are sticking down? There's 4 of those little feet that are sticking down on this grill to kind of elevate it. And so how do you get those feet in place? Do you cut away the extra geometry? It looks like Sebastian has decided, or Gray, excuse me, on the right, Gray has decided to kind of sketch the whole thing starting from the middle and working out. How do you get those fillets in place? How do you get the geometry to all be locked down? So this is all very important when it comes to calculating the correct mass, and really, really interesting challenge here. Definitely a challenge that you would break up into multiple phases, and you kind of think through, like, I'm going to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and I feel like they're kind of on that. They're both on that third phase now, figuring out how to get those feet in place.
Yeah, no, for me personally, outside of a speed modeling one, I think I would do this like Part Studio 1 would be the simple bar, the crossbar, right? And then do some variations, and then I'd apply everything in an assembly to figure out kind of how I'd want things, but I would draw it all separate. But obviously it doesn't work as fast in the speed modeling world. So
yeah. So this is really, they're really neck and neck here. We see that it looks like Gray on the right has gotten that solid geometry in place for that shape, but we see that Sebastian is right behind him, hot on his heels. And certainly this might be one that just comes down to whether or not somebody makes a mistake and opens the door for the other runner. Look at Sebastian on the left there, has that foot in place, but we see Gray has gone through, has used a cut there to kind of clean up those wires on top. That's kind of what we were thinking was going to end up happening. Look at Sebastian though on the left. He's got all the things. We're going to see this answer coming in here pretty soon. We want to make sure that we are watching the chat. This is neck and neck here, guys. Sebastian really came up quick. 606 from Sebastian. That is not correct. 606. That is not correct.
And we got Gray coming in.
Gray coming in with an answer. 577 or 578. That is not correct. That is not correct. So, wow, 2 answers came in really, really close, and now things get interesting because now both of our runners need to look at their work. Both of our runners need to examine where things maybe went wrong. They need to examine some of their dimensioning. But, wow, those answers, all of a sudden, we were looking at it, and wow. Now it comes down to, dang, who can troubleshoot faster? So both of those runners really came in quickly with those initial answers. They both came in very close to one another with those initial answers. Aaron C. says, this is where the good is separated from the great. We now need to go through and troubleshoot our model and try to figure out what dimension is incorrect. Look at, you can see there that Gray is using some just kind of on-screen dimensions to try to figure out what's going on. Ate asking for the Clock of Doom. So the Clock of Doom doesn't come into play until someone has bounced out, basically. If someone answers incorrectly twice, that's when the Clock of Doom will come in. But I got to give a shout out to both of these runners. I cannot believe how fast they were both able to get their initial answer and just get that geometry constructed. That is fantastic. If you were just doing kind of conceptual brainstorming with a customer, that's super fast to get that geometry constructed. Both of our runners coming in with fairly
like to see that too.
Yeah, both of our runners coming in with fairly close answers, 606 and 577, but neither of them is correct. Deathview saying there may be something that one of them can see. Interesting, guys.
I think we're coming in with another answer.
We may be. This is where it gets a little bit scary because if you answer and it's incorrect that you're gonna, that's gonna be it. You're not gonna be able to revise any further.
Yeah.
But you also know that it could be any moment. It's almost like a game of chicken where if your opponent decides to just like let it rip and answer, then they're gonna be the ones who end up getting it.
But then you get your Clock of Doom time, and I don't know if that's any better. That might be.
Yeah.
It's one of those stress tests. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite elements of the tournament is seeing how these runners react. And Sebastian comes in with an answer. 518 grams. And that is correct.
There we go.
And wow. Sebastian and Gray. Oh my gosh, this was an awesome battle. Wow, wow, wow. 1 point to Sebastian. You got to earn 2 points to move on to our finals. But Sebastian gets it right. 518 grams, plus or minus 2 grams. And wow, wow, wow. What a close match there from both of our runners. Guys, be sure to put a GG in the chat for our winner, Sebastian. But super impressive from both of them. Wow, 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 guys. That was... Yes, Corey, what do you think about that?
I was speechless, man. That was like just watching that workflow and just seeing how things worked. And man, they were like
so
fractions of a second behind each other, and
close.
It was just amazing. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
GG to both of our runners. GG to Sebastian earning that point. We saw Gray pull ahead real quickly there in the beginning, and I thought it was over. I was counting Sebastian out. But then when those two answers came in at the same time, oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I got to tell you, that was absolutely thrilling. And I cannot wait to see what happens next. In the chat, we see Matab saying, sweeps are hard to speed model. Sebastian saying, my brain froze when I first saw it. Not going to lie. Yeah.
No, you were taking it all in. You were planning your attack, and that's what it was. That's what you got to roll with.
That's what I mean. When you get a model like that, you got to right away start thinking, like, what are the phases going to be? Mm-hmm. So FPV Kev thinks it's going to be 19, Rockcrawler 17, Zhao 20, Vicky Chong 19. Wow, wow, wow. This is some tricky stuff here. And good luck, guys. You got to win 2 points to move on. This is far from over, and everyone is hoping for the same thing. We're all hoping that we end up seeing 3 battles. Sahil in the chat, Salil in the chat saying, what is the wheel? The wheel is how we randomize the challenges for our runners. And so I'm going to give this thing a shuffle. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Shout out to Solidbox for sponsoring the wheel. Not only do they create outstanding hardware for 3D CAD users, but they also make a fantastic Wheel of Fate. Here we go, guys. Atse says, when Sebastian's brain unfroze, it got into action fresh and cool. Yeah, that was a really, really fun match to watch. Oh, boy, guys. Here we go.
Here we go.
We're going to go back in time a little bit, back to model number 9. That means this one must be easier, right? Totally.
Maybe.
Totally. All right, guys. Model number 9. So congratulations to Gummy. Once again, Gummy showing his clairvoyance. Gummy, this is your weekend. Good luck to you this weekend. If anybody wants to bet you on anything, you say, yes, I'll take that bet. Wow, guys, that was a lot of fun to watch. That was a really epic match. And let's learn just a little bit more about our runners while the production team is setting up this next match.
Yeah, so Sebastian, he says, some of you might know me as MCGA, so make CATIA great again. You see his model up on the practice models page, his little logo, and it's always like, I feel like he's the first one always getting stuff done.
He's always up there.
Obviously, his automation, streamlined workflows give him a lot of time to be able to get stuff done. So he's doing some good work there. And he has a dog. And he loves pizza. I don't know if the dog's name's Pizza. I think that's what we were talking about last week. But he's getting some good work done. So we move on over to Gray. And he says, when he came across TTT on the internet a year ago, he was immediately hooked. And I think if you're in the chat, if you're here on this stream today, you definitely know that most of us are like that, right? So and he said his love for speed modeling is a direct result of his esports background. So we'll see. Gray, what other esports do you do? If you want to tell me in the chat really quick, we can kind of talk about that. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely, I was hooked. My students are hooked. I have a binder full of a lot of the practice models because my kids thrive doing things with one single, like a physical print versus working on 2 screens because they're on their Chromebooks. But I think we're all in love with the Too Tall Toby community. So it's a great community to be a part of.
Yes, indeed. Very, very honored to have the amazing members of this community. It really is so epic. So, guys, we had that first battle between Sebastian and Gray, and it did not disappoint. We've got our number 2 seed and our number 3 seed going up against one another. Let's get into this next battle. If Sebastian wins this, he is going to move on to the finals. If Gray wins this, then we are going to go to a third battle. And I think everybody's hoping that we get to see a third battle from this. So good luck to both of our runners. Here we go, guys. This next CAD vs. CAD battle between Sebastian from Germany, our number 3 seed using CATIA, and Gray from Russia, our number 2 seed using SolidWorks, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in xxx.x grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 0.2 grams. This is in millimeters, and it's made from 1060 aluminum. It's almost like a corporate logo of sorts. We call this the one-line cube, and the entire line is made from 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter extrusion. Here we go, guys. CAD versus CAD battle. Our number 3 and our number 2 seed. It's an awesome model. It looks so easy. But if you try to model
this is exactly how I thought it was going to run too. When I saw this today, I was like, yeah, they're going to sit and think for a bit because you have to, right? There's definitely some things, I think, the way I would approach it, but we'll see how these guys handle it today.
Yes. This is one where, you know, there's a lot of ways you could approach this, but a lot of them are going to end up with a lot of complex geometry. This is not going to be easy. That's for sure.
I think this one throws away a lot of our tricks too. There's some things that we've definitely perfected in the community that like, oh, I could do it this way, or oh, if I see this, I'll try that. And this kind of throws those away, right?
This one puts everything on its head.
Good luck with an Ivan exploit on this one.
Yeah.
If you can come up with it, go for it. But
yeah, this one is going to be very interesting. It's very much like it reminds me just like a corporate logo. I'm sure there's companies out there who have used this.
Yeah.
But it's essentially, just a cube. But a cube with some very interesting geometry in the middle. All right, we see Sebastian drawing first blood, creating that first shape there on the left. Now, the question is, what is he going to do with that first shape? How is he going to utilize that shape? And is he going to build out from there? And Gray on the right, taking the exact same approach, ending up creating that extrusion there, the exact same extrusion. Now, the question is, what are they going to do with this, and who's going to be able to do it faster? And so we see Sebastian on the left. What's he going to end up doing? Gray on the right looks like he's opted to jump into a second sketch, and he's going to try and use that second sketch to figure out what this next section of the geometry is going to look like.
There we go. Yeah, no, the kids have called this an infinity table, and they've wanted to make one for a couple of years. And I'm like, unless you can prove to me you can draw it and cut everything, like we're not, this is... Because even when you go to put it together, you weld something in the wrong direction and you have a whole different project. So
yeah, exactly. Very interesting. I love seeing what Gray is doing here. Wow, that was a really, really interesting transition there from having that, initial shape to having the shape he's got now. That was clutch.
Mr. Intrusionist in the chat said Sebastian wasn't expecting this cube when he said he can solve a cube in 27 seconds. So
true.
Definitely
different kind of cube there.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Sebastian looked like he backtracked and then kind of followed right in step. Very interesting as well. Wow, this is so cool to see how these guys are kind of thinking through this thing and what they're going to end up doing with it. Rambro's Workshop says, I could Ivan exploit this. I could figure out a way to do this. But I really like how both of these runners are doing it. It's very interesting that, they're both kind of thinking about it the same way, both kind of trying to approach this thing from a similar strategy. It looks like they're kind of winding down here. Wow, that was really fast too, how Gray was able to get that shape in place. Now, what is he going to end up doing with that shape? He's going to use the same kind of layout that he had initially created, it looks like, to set himself up with this next region here. Yeah. Wow.
Now, there's one thing, and I know you're thinking about it too, and we're not going to say it, but there's definitely a crucial moment that I'm looking for. So
yeah.
I think just rotating your view around too just starts to get you like
a little seasick,
exactly.
Disoriented. Yeah.
What side am I looking at? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely made this thing a few different ways while I was auditing it, and I don't have any idea which one was the best or which one was the fastest. It's just it was just, I did everything from 3D sketching to, to like crazy like shelling type stuff to Boolean type stuff. Like I did it all as I was auditing this, and I don't have any idea which way is the best.
Lots of cuts. Start with a cube and just cut away.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be insane. Yeah.
So Gray is really turning up the heat here on this one, making some really impressive progress here. And it looks like he may even be coming down the home stretch. Let's see what he can do about this final kind of section of the model that he's working on here. Looks like maybe he got some inadvertent relationships that he's trying to get rid of. I think we've all been there with an inadvertent relationship we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Life lessons from Toby, right?
All right, guys, and we're going to keep an eye on the chat. I got a feeling we might be seeing an answer coming in here. Wow, Gray really made some great progress there for sure. And we're going to keep an eye on the chat, And Gray coming in with an answer, 205.4 grams. And that is correct. And we are going to a third match, guys. And Sebastian coming in with an answer, 205.4 grams. Guys, the correct answer is 205.4 grams. What a couple of wizards we are seeing here in today's match. Wow, wow, wow. Great job to both of our runners. Total head scratcher on that model. That is not easy geometry to construct, and they both did it not only in speedy times, but very close to the same amount of times. Jim Yu coming into the chat with 100 SEK. Thank you, Jim Yu. And Sebastian and Gray, what a couple of wizards you guys are. This is so impressive to watch. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. GG in the chat says GG. I agree. GG.
I think that was the first one I opened today when you showed me these, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm glad I was out last week." Yeah, I would have.
We are going up a notch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because like even just watching like Gray as he was like manipulating that and moving it around, you could see some things started, and because it's all the same color, because it's all the same material, right? You like start losing some views and like, where's this at, and how is it? Like it's those perspective changes that kind of would mess with you. So
yes. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, Aaron C. coming into the chat with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Rockcrawler coming in with a super chat. Thank you guys so much. In honor of that insane part and even more insane matchup. Yeah, this is so awesome to watch. We've got the best of the best of the best here battling it out. Thank you, Rockcrawler. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron C. Guys, the super chat is open. This is the only place to enjoy CAD vs. CAD on a Friday afternoon. And wow, wow, wow. Guys, only one place left to turn, and that is the Wheel of Fate. And we have got 4 epic challenges remaining on the wheel today. And this is just absolutely epic. Cannot wait to see how this match goes. Fernando, I like being edgy, but I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. Just kind of asking for trouble there, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, I like the edgy sense of humor though. I appreciate it. Too soon.
Vicky said the audience appreciates your late nights working on these models, Toby. So I know
Thank you.
We need to have a chat with Vicky and my wife so they can just like talk to each other and
they can
every time we're on. That way they have something to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, here we go. The Wheel of Fate is ready to speak. Let's let this thing talk. Here we go. Okay, and it looks like we are going to see... Oh, it clicked over at the last second. Wow, wow. And wow. Oh, boy, Corey. Just the way we wanted this thing to go. This is that last second click over, guys. When you see what happens, you're gonna be thankful for that last second click over. Okay. Challenge number 18 accepted. Good luck to both of our runners. This is the finals of the semifinal, unless they get stuck, in which case we will go one more. Corey, what has been your favorite part about these matches today?
I think they're very, I feel like we came into this tournament and, you know, sometimes certain seeds, we watch March Madness and there's upsets and there's this. I feel like everybody's pretty ranked fairly similar, right? Like, I know Gray blew me out of the water last week, but everybody else this week has been fairly on the same level, and it's cool to see like literally clicks behind each other, and a couple of more seconds, and some of these people would have came out on top. And so, This is the plug to buy a Solidbox. That'll push you a little further in.
Yeah. Buy a Solidbox, do your practice models. Guys, if you want to be in the World Championship, I think this is fantastic demonstration of the every year we're increasing the caliber of our competitors. And so I can't wait to see what happens next in these tournaments. But before we can get to the future, we have to get through this matchup. Guys, Sebastian has 1 point. Gray has 1 point. Whoever earns this point, and I do mean earns, whoever earns this point is going to move on to the finals. Are you ready, Corey?
I'm ready.
Are you ready in the chat? Yeah! we need that sound bite.
The soundboard, yeah.
Guys, this next CAD battle to determine who goes on to the finals between Sebastian, our number 3 seed, using CATIA from Germany, and Gray, our number 2 seed, using SolidWorks from Russia, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXX.X grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 0.3 grams. It's called Hex Hot Pad. It's made from ABS. It's in millimeters. Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture. Both of our runners are jumping into their CAD. We got Gray on the right using SolidWorks, sketching a rectangle looking down from the top. We got Sebastian on the left using CATIA, sketching a rectangle looking down from the top. Gray is going to extrude. And when Gray goes to extrude, he's going to be drawing first blood here. He's just looking for the measurement. Sebastian looking to include that circle in the first sketch. Interesting approach. Matab in the chat saying, wait, wasn't this part in Discord? Yes, there was a discussion in Discord about how to create a hex pattern. And so we definitely, I see Jern in the chat, Jern regular in Discord, recognizing the hex pattern discussion. Guys, who is going to get this thing modeled up first? You will probably at some point in your CAD career be asked a question about how to drop a hex pattern onto a model. And it's not easy, that's for sure.
We did it when I was in high school, actually. I tried doing it, and I did the old-fashioned way, copy and paste in hexagons, because there wasn't really a pattern tool, and it was a 2D CAD. But we were trying to make a skateboard out of metal, and that was going to be your grip. So you wouldn't have any grip tape on it. All the hexes would fall out, and that's how you would skate on it. And then I thought about, well, if I fall and my ankle gets hit by a piece of metal, we probably shouldn't do this. So we scrapped the project and we didn't move on any further.
Well, this is absolutely fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. Matab says that circular bit has a purpose, maybe just for hanging it. If it's this is a kitchen hot pad, then that might be
thinking, like a
hanging on the hook
or whatever.
Yep. Fabrico asking where you can join the Discord. You can, if you visit totaltoby.com, the Discord link is on there on the practice models page, Fabrico.
Yeah, I know it's going to be interesting. Like, just where do you start? Like, there's always, I mean, you could start kind of anywhere. It's just making sure that pattern is oriented
fortunately,
correctly.
the drawing does have a hint. The drawing does have one of those hexes located. And so that is the big hint on this design. You want to look and see where that first hex is located, and that's definitely going to help you get the pattern correct. But I think the other part of the challenge is just like getting your extrusions in place with the correct wall thickness, getting the pattern in the correct direction with the correct gap. I mean, that's where doing a hex pattern like this really gets difficult. But yeah, you definitely want to look at that drawing and get that first hex located. Gray, I know both Gray and Sebastian are English as a second language, so just make sure that they know to look at the drawing and get that first hex located in the correct location, and that will make all the difference. And so we see Sebastian here. Interesting approach here. Looks like he's almost doing a Boolean type approach with those hexes. We've got our wall thickness of 4 millimeters as kind of the default wall thickness, and then we've got our ribs here for the hexes with 2 millimeters. So,
well, it looks like Gray's getting tripped up, lost some of his geometry for a second, but he brought it back. So,
yeah, it comes down to the whole like sketch pattern, sketch pattern, feature pattern. This is considered a tier 5 model, FPV Kev. Remember, the models are based on, or the tier levels based on complexity, not necessarily difficulty. Difficulty is kind of subjective, where complexity is a little bit easier to measure. So from a complexity point of view, you don't actually need that many features to create this shape. However, from a difficulty level, Well, that's a totally different story. And look at Gray getting that pattern in place. Wow. Gray, well done getting that pattern in place. And now you see he's using his dimensions to locate based on where that foundational hex was. But wow, decided to do it with a sketch pattern. I would not have done that with a sketch pattern. I would totally have done that a different way. But
there we go.
I am not in this tournament, and Gray is. And look at him getting that hex shape in place. And wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I think sketch pattern would have been the way I went to. I don't know a different way to do it. That's kind of how I've learned. So,
well, I think that what we're seeing here on Gray's screen is that he did it with sketch pattern, and now he's maybe running into some issues. SolidWorks is kind of fighting him. I think that's where we tend to run into some issues with sketch pattern, is when we try to get into features, when we have overly complicated sketch patterns. But wow, guys, if you're enjoying this battle, be sure to hit that like button. We got 191 people watching. I think when people realized that it was this hex pattern, a bunch of people let their friends know to tune in. And wow, wow, wow. Guys, we might be seeing an answer here coming in from Gray. We're going to watch the chat. We're looking for the answer in xxx.x grams, and Gray comes in with an answer, 180.8 grams. And Corey, we have ourselves a SolidWorks versus SolidWorks final battle. That is correct, Gray. 180.8 is the correct answer. And wow, 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 what a comeback. Sebastian won that first match. Gray was able to come back and win the next two. And congratulations to Gray for moving on to the finals. Those were some truly tricky models that the Wheel of Fate delivered there. It was that one little click, just barely going from model number 20 to model number 18. Wow, wow, wow. To be fair, model number 20 was a sheet metal model as well, but I think this one was a lot more exciting to watch. And wow, what a cool battle. What a cool series of battles. And guys, we got to give it up for our winner of that match. Congratulations to Gray, moving on to the finals of this tournament. Congratulations to both of our runners. And Aaron C in the chat says, Matab, I think now you're going to be under some serious pressure. You got Gray coming up, our number 1 seed versus our number 2 seed in the finals. Are you kidding me? This is going to be an absolutely epic final. Congratulations to all of our runners today. It was so good having all of these runners here in the battle all throughout the entire tournament. Thank you, Corey, for being a part of this tournament.
No, for sure. Yeah, I had a blast. I love this side of it, and hopefully if I can, we start school next week, but maybe my principal will let me out for a day to come and talk to you again. So.
Yeah, it's been so good having Corey in the chat. Guys, let's give a huge shout out to Corey, and don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. We're trying to get to over 100 likes so we can do a special live stream next week, and Toby will go through and model up all the parts from the tournament. So we've got just a few more minutes here to cross that threshold. It looks like we got 94 likes currently, so let's see what we can do. Oh, Zhao says we already have 105 likes. Okay, good. All right, then mine's just not refreshing, correct? Refresh. Let's get it to go here. All right, Zhao says we have 105, so I'm just going to go with that. George says we have 105, so we'll do a special live stream next week. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to sign up for a free account. Visit all of our sponsors, and we will do a special episode of Model Monday Live. Don't forget, if you have the means, you can use the super chat. You can use the totaltoby.com/donate. I got to say thank you to all of the amazing members of the chat. Modding Monkey is in the chat, says, Gray, you crushed that model. Very nice job. Very, very tricky model there. Not an easy model. If you guys are out there watching and you want to play along with, you can join us every Monday, Model Monday Live, where we challenge the chat to take a 2D drawing and turn it into a 3D model. It's a great way to work on your chops. It's a great way to prepare for the tournament. And a lot of times we see the people who are winning in Model Monday Live are also winning here in the tournament. And Corey, man, number 1 versus number 2 seed next week.
That's man, it's just waiting to happen. It's like a perfect, let's see what happens.
Perfect storm. Yeah. And we are gonna ask Sebastian and James to come back as well, so that we can have a 3rd and 4th place battle to determine who is in 3rd place. And that 3rd place winner is going to also win a macro pad from our sponsor, macropad.io. So be sure to visit all of our sponsors, and be sure to hit the like button on your way out. And be sure to come back and join us next week. And we will do a special live stream next week in the middle of the week as well to model up all of the parts that we've seen in the tournament so far. And finally, next week, Friday, the tournament concludes August 8th, our CAD vs. CAD tournament finals. Corey, once again, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of this tournament. It's been awesome co-commentating with you in the booth, and thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And, you know, just to everybody out there, I was one of those who started with the practice models and couldn't figure out the mass at first. I was using Onshape's basics. And then I realized you had your own material library, and then I learned from there. So it's always, you know, you might not be the best, but I also wasn't in the tournament a couple of years ago, and then I lost. So next time I'm going to do better and take on the world. So let's see what we can do, guys.
Man, and guys, if you haven't seen Corey's channel, be sure to visit him. Mesa Makes is the channel. He posts some fantastic content for anybody who's trying to learn Onshape. He posts some really valuable insights as to how to get through some of the features in that software. So be sure to visit Mesa Makes. His YouTube channel is awesome, and we're going to get him to over 1,000 subscribers. Let's all go over and visit and subscribe to Mesa Makes' YouTube channel. And guys, I will look forward to seeing everybody next week. Thank you all so much for joining us for this tournament today, and have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and I will see everybody in Model Monday Live next week, and I will see everybody at the finals next week. See you, everybody.
Take care.